the Copper Golem is a very unique Minecraft mob. And not just because of its robotic looks, the way you spawn it, or even its mechanics, but because it's actually the first ever Minecraft mob to be added into the game after losing a mob vote. In 2021, the Copper Golem was part of the mob vote, but ultimately lost to the LA, which was soon added in the game afterwards. But everybody kind of forgot about the Copper Golem after that, didn't they? So why did Mojang decide to add it now? Well, because Mojang has kind of gone copper crazy. In this new snapshot, they've added copper tools, copper armor, copper lanterns, copper this and that and everything. So it felt fitting to add the Copper Golem as well, even though it did originally lose its mob vote. So in this video, I want to try and see how this new Copper Golem works exactly. All that I've seen in the Mojang trailers is that if you put some items in this little copper chest that comes with the golem, it will look in the chest and then sort those items accordingly into normal chests depending on what is in the chests already. So it's kind of like an automatic item sorter of sorts, which seems very cool and very useful, but how useful is it exactly? That's what I'm gonna try to find out now. So let's start out with grabbing some golems here. I don't really know what the difference between all of these is, but we'll see, I guess. And then, of course, the chest, because otherwise it doesn't work. And why not grab a spawn egg to see if that works any different than the golem I could find in here. And then, of course, some normal chests for it to test adding into. Oh my god. Lag. The world is loading in. Save me. Okay, well, oh, that isn't useful. Oh my god. You can pose it? That's so cute. Oh my god, look at it, it's running and jumping and whatnot. Okay, that's actually adorable. I might use those as decorations more than I care to admit. And here we have the golem itself. Oh my god, when I place these new things, it lags some. Where did it go? Where did my golem go? Okay, when I place these, it lags so much. That's because this is a snapshot. It is not the finished game yet, but it will be in the next update, so things might still change. I should probably say that because I'm not sure if everything is gonna work out perfectly in this snapshot because it is very early game and it's not finished yet. But it's fun that we get to check it out before it's released properly. Now, okay, let's try and put these items into the copper chest and see how the golem sorts it. I think if a chest is empty, it's just gonna put it into the first empty chest it finds, right? Let's see here. Yes, okay. So if a chest is empty, it's just gonna put items into it, even if you don't have a system in that chest yet. Also, can I just say, these little animations that it does, that's adorable. Like, it probably looking into the chest and such. That's really cute. Okay, now it's trying to find a different chest because the two it checked already had an item in it that were not corresponding with the item that it was holding. Let's see how this goes. I'm gonna put some more things in here and see how it sorts those. Did it break? It's just standing there. Okay, maybe if I push it down here, it will find a chest. Yes, okay. Apparently it breaks if it stands on top of the chests. I don't know. That might get fixed before the proper release, though. I think that's a bug. Okay, I'm gonna try to put some doors in here, and then whenever it gets to the doors, I hope that it will put it in the right chest, even though there are still empty chests. Buddy, why do you break every time you go up here? Okay. Now it shouldn't be able to go up there by the grass at least, but I don't know. Okay, it used this chest. Never mind then. I'm just gonna grab a slab and then try to prevent that by doing this. Did you break again? Oh my god, buddy. Get on the ground. You're not working up here. Do you have a fear of heights, perhaps? Because if you do, then that's fair. Okay, so what does it do now? It can't... Oh, I think it can't reach the top chests. And that makes sense, because the golem is just 1 block tall, but I didn't think about that. It can probably only reach chests at the same level. Okay, well... It did put something in this chest, but I think that was because it stood on its own chest, which means that this chest was in the same level. So I'm just gonna remove these now because clearly it doesn't work. And then I'm gonna see how it reacts with this block that doesn't match anything in any of the chests. I'd assume it would just put it back in its copper chest or put it in a random one. No? I'm just gonna stand there. No, you already checked that chest. Look, it's very cute, but it doesn't seem too smart. Why is it already checking that chest again? Okay, let me just try to empty a chest and see if it then puts it in. Come on, buddy, you can do it. No, you already checked that one. Okay, yeah, now it's placing it. Okay. So it just kind of stands there and breaks if there's no chest that matches the item. That's not ideal. Okay, it only takes 16 at a time. That's kind of funny. Okay. Well, we already have planks in this chest, so now let's see. It did put the doors in the right chest, which I'm happy to see. Yeah, okay. So it puts items in an empty chest or in a chest that already has that item in it. But it will not, if it has an item, it will not just put it in any chest if it has checked all chests and the item isn't in any of them. Then it will just stand there and check the chests over and over. Maybe that will get fixed. I hope it will, because that doesn't seem very smart. Because personally, I think I'm gonna use this feature as like just dumping my entire inventory into the chest after an adventure, which is already kind of what I do now, and it's not very smart for myself, because then I might end up with like 4 different chests with the same item in it because I just dump it wherever, and then it's hard to find your own items. And I think this Copper Golem would be very useful with a couple fixes, but this right here, this Copper Golem just running around looking in the same chests over and over to try and find a match for its item, that could use some work. But I am very hopeful that Mojang will fix it, because I trust Mojang, you know, like there are very, very few of their decisions that feel like bad or rushed or not a good place for the game to be headed. I trust them and their judgment pretty much, so I believe that this Copper Golem will be fixed and will have a good use, because it doesn't seem like Mojang to just add something like this to the game that doesn't really work. And again, this is a snapshot. It is not the finished product, and they can still change things up. This is just to give players an early access at trying to have fun with the new features and see, like, kind of follow up on what's going on before it's probably added. And I think that's a nice thing for them to do, you know. It makes us feel more included in their process than if they just poof released something and then nobody even knew. But I googled, and apparently they can also be spawned with both jack-o'-lanterns and normal carved pumpkins. Let's see here. Okay, the jack-o'-lantern one has glowing eyes. Okay, the other one also does. That would have been a cool, like, little extra feature if it only had glowing eyes. If you spawned it with a jack-o'-lantern and not just a carved pumpkin, then it just had normal eyes. That would have been really cool, but yeah, I guess it's fine that it just has one design. Let's go over here so it doesn't mess with the other chests, because apparently it checks all the chests. You could see right there that even the golems that spawned on one chest would also check the other copper chests, which means that we need to go a bit away before the chests are gonna confuse the golems. And I'm gonna try and see. They say statue here. Does that mean it's just like not working or what? I kind of wanted to see if there's like a difference in speed depending on what kind of golem it is, like how oxidized it is, because I think it would make sense. Okay, that's very slow. I was about to say, I think it would make sense if the all oxidized one is slower than the normal ones, but apparently the all oxidized one is so slow that it's not even moving. This one isn't either. Okay, maybe it has to be like fully unoxidized. That I don't think that's a word, but you know what I mean. Doesn't that... No, okay. Maybe they have to be like at the very first oxidation stage to work. I'm not sure, but let's see how these two work together. Maybe they will leave blocks up to one another, like, or maybe they will pick up the same blocks. I don't actually know. But let's test with these, because in the other chest it wouldn't add a new stack. But what if there's already a stack of that item? Like, pickaxes don't stack, but will it still... Yes, okay. I was thinking like it couldn't add a pickaxe to a pickaxe stack, but it's okay with starting a new pickaxe stack if there are already the same kinds of pickaxes in the chest. That's a good thing. Because it would be pretty dumb if you like came home with multiple stacks of one thing and it just didn't add it to anything. But let's try with a bunch of different colors of wool here. I'm gonna add 3 different colors of wool to 3 different chests and then just dump it all into its own chest. And then I hope that it will sort them correctly and like do it okay quickly. Because I assume that's what the intended purpose is. Like, you just dump all of your stuff into the copper chest and then the copper golems do the rest. That'll rhyme. That could be a song, you know? Okay, I'm just gonna dump all of this everywhere, and then I'm gonna... Okay, that doesn't work in caps lock. I actually didn't know that, but I also wasn't intending to put caps lock on. But let's just make it daylight again. That's easier. Okay, they're both carrying red wool right now, which means that even if one copper golem starts on a stack, the other copper golems don't like let that stack be up to that golem. It seems that they will just take whatever is first in the chest, no matter what. Why aren't they... Oh, yeah, true. I put a chest on top of a chest. We just tested that didn't work. I already forgot that. Let's put them in here instead and see if that works. Yes, okay. That actually works. So the problem is that the chests are stacked onto one another. That's fine, it makes sense that they're not very tall, but they're very cute. I really like the design and I love the animations of it. Like, it seems like it gets all excited when it finds a match, and it like actually peeks over the chest to look in. What is going on here? Guys, that doesn't seem very smart. Why are you stuck like that? I think they're trying to go each their own direction, but they're just walking into one another. Wait, do I really have to help you guys? Okay, so maybe having multiple of them isn't the smartest thing. Like, it's quicker because obviously they can only take 16 blocks at a time, so having more of them means that they can carry more different stacks at once and such. But if this keeps happening, like they just get stuck and do nothing, then it's not a good investment in the end. Maybe I was just unlucky though, because it seems that they're working now, and it seems like usually when they bump into one another, they can figure it out peacefully. Let's see here. I don't know how long this is gonna take. That was also why I did so many blocks at once. I kind of wanted to get a feel of how quickly they can do it. And I also kind of wanted to see if they would oxidize anywhere in the process. But it seems like maybe... Oh no, not again. Okay, they figured it out. Maybe it takes the same amount of time for a copper block to oxidize as a copper golem. That would make sense, and maybe it is like that because they're still working. And the chest is also still working, even though I chose the last oxidation stage of chest on purpose to see if it would actually still work, or if it would just like be a regular block that couldn't move anymore. Just like the golem, which couldn't move at the last stage. But they seem to have figured it out. They're not carrying anything anymore. So let's... Yes! Okay! They're all sorted correctly. Good job, guys! Yes! You did good. Okay. Wait, that's not how you spell copper. Let's see here. Maybe we can get the other types of copper golems by using different stages of copper blocks. Yes, okay, do you move? Or do you just stand there? It moves! It lives! Okay, okay! So you can actually get any stage of copper golem that you want if you just use the corresponding block. That makes sense. I just don't understand why these ones didn't work then. But that's just a statue. I wonder how you make, like, it into a statue. Like, I understand that if it fully oxidizes, then it does this, but you can get a statue of any level of copper. I wonder how you get, like, in survival, how you get a stage 1 or 2 statue, because it's not fully oxidized, so I don't know why it would stand still and not be able to move, actually. I'm trying to think of ways that would make sense, but I actually don't know. If any of you guys know how to get the statue in any stage, please let me know, because I'm actually really curious how that would work. Or maybe it's just a creative thing, you know? There are blocks available in creative that aren't in survival, but I don't know. Okay, let's test some more stuff here. If I just give it one chest, it has no reason to be confused about looking in different chests. So what will it do if I give it a block that isn't in the one chest? It's really just stuck. Okay, I thought maybe it got confused because there were different chests and it couldn't check them all at once. So it like went back and forth. But no, even if it can look in the one and only chest, it's still stuck with its one item that doesn't correspond. Okay, that doesn't seem very smart. Again, I hope that gets fixed, but I don't actually know. Okay, what if you put blocks in here and... Okay, so it actually, even if there are blocks in the chest that could be sorted, it doesn't change the block it's holding in favor of actually sorting the rest. So if you give it an item that isn't sortable into any of the chests that you currently have, it will just get stuck and not sort the rest either. But let's see if I put full stacks in, will it still... Okay, so if there is any amount of blocks in the chest, it will just put it into the same chest. Okay, well, yeah, that thing I like, because it wouldn't have been very smart if a full stack just counted as not a match, you know, because it couldn't add to the stack. But I wonder if I fill this chest up and then I put another corresponding block in, what will it do with that block? Because, like, it is a match, but it still can't add it. Okay, the subtitles say that it is actually putting the item in the chest. Like, look at the subtitles. Copper Golem is placing an item. That would mean that it's placing it in the chest, but it's still holding it. So it just gets stuck again. What if I make a mess of the chest? Like, will it clean that up? Or will it just, like, if it finds any match, maybe it won't, like, put it into systems. Maybe it will just throw it wherever it can. Yeah, okay. So it just puts it wherever there's an available space. If you have like a system, I'm not sure it will follow it. So like oak planks at the top row and spruce planks at the second row, I think it will just throw them in there in the first available spot. But I assume, yeah, okay, you can wax them. I assume that's how you get them to not oxidize further. And the chests too, okay, that must mean that the chest can actually stop working if it oxidizes too much. Okay. So what are my thoughts on this Copper Golem? Well, I think it has really great potential. I think with a few tweaks, like it not getting stuck if you give it an item that's not in one of the chests, even if there are chests with available space in that just don't have that block, I think things like that could do with some fixing before the full release. But I think it is really cute, it has really cute animations, and I think it does have potential to be a very useful item sorter. Also, please remember to subscribe and like the video and comment if you enjoyed this video. I'm a very new YouTuber, as you can see, so any way that you tell the algorithm that you like my video is very, very helpful. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and yeah, I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully see you in the next one. Bye everyone!